My name is Adam Donaldson. I'm here on behalf of Dalhousie University just to share a little bit today as to what our university is like and where we're located. That way, if you're considering universities or graduate studies, you will end up hopefully keeping us top of mind. So a little bit about Dalhousie University. Dalhousie is one of the premier universities on the east coast of Canada for research. We have roughly 21,000 students, over 6,000 faculty members, and we currently do roughly 214, give or take, $1 million of annual funding each year. My role at the university is within the Faculty of Graduate Studies. I work a lot with the scholarships and with the program side of things. So, quite involved with the number of master's and PhD programs that we offer through a full suite of different faculties, and I'll provide that a little bit later on here. We've been a very successful global university. We have had 93 Rhodes Scholars over the years coming in. We have a very diverse and quite dynamic student body and also faculty members at the university. So to give an idea of how Dalhousie is currently interacting and reaching out globally, currently with our various faculty and students and research connections, we are working with 60 different countries for different partnerships and research programs. We have 35 countries where we do study abroad and student exchange programs. This includes students who are coming into Halifax and Dalhousie University for short-term visits, as well as a number of students that are going outbound for exchange programs and field trips, and quite a few quite interesting and unique opportunities. We have 8 countries that we're actually engaged in social and capacity building projects. So, for example, Doctors Without Borders and Engineers Without Borders, a number of other areas where we do partnership research. And right now, if we look at all of the different faculty members and who they're collaborating with, there's actually 189 different countries that Dalhousie is actively engaged in co-publication and collaborative research with. Most of the work that we end up having going on at the university is currently separated into 5 different areas, and you can see them on the screen here. So sustainability and ocean development is one of the major ones at the university. We have a significant ocean presence with the Ocean Frontier Institute, and obviously we're a coastal city right on the eastern edge of Canada. We have an extensive faculty of health and faculty of medicine that is quite engaged with community-based engagement and community-based research. So we have a very large amount of research and active training programs within the faculty of health, nursing, food security. So Dalhousie University actually the agricultural campus located about 40 minutes north of Halifax. This is also known as the Truro campus. So they offer master's and PhD programs in agriculture, which can include both your traditional agriculture as well as new and emerging technologies within ag. We also have a fair amount of food security, food management, sustainability, a number of research areas that tie into that. From a culture, society, community development standpoint, we have several groups within our faculty of management, faculty of science, faculty of medicine, which are engaged in everything from social responsibility and social research to health research and development. In tech, energy, and the environment, we have a full computer science and engineering faculties with extensive research in these areas. We have some of the world leaders in battery research, as well as electric vehicle research. So we're quite an interesting dynamic spot, depending on what it is that you're looking to do. From an impact, the UN Sustainability Development Goals are a common metric that are being used to give an idea as to how different universities are engaging. And you can see our numbers here. So we are, from a university size, Dalhousie University is still a smaller university within Canada, but we actually hit well above our weight when we talk about impact of the research that we do in the graduate studies. So especially within the areas of clean water and sanitation, good being or good health and well-being, and the ocean research. Some of our rankings, for those that might be interested, Dalhousie University is consistently ranked within the 200 to 300 range worldwide for a number of the different universities. We are within the top 15 universities in Canada, and that's typically across the board and many of the different ones that are here. We're recognized in QS World Rankings for the areas indicated there: Earth and Marine Science, Geology, Geophysics, Petroleum Engineering, as well as Oceanography and Atmospheric Science. We also have very extensive research occurring in a number of other areas that they're just slightly lower than the 100 ranking, but still quite high. From a program side, so if you are considering graduate studies, these are the different faculties that we currently end up offering graduate programs in. So within each faculty, there are a number of options depending on what your area of specialization or interest is. English language studies is one area as well that, depending on your English proficiency, we do offer an English for Academics program, which can help with students who are looking to try to improve their English language skills, either prior to or during their graduate studies. If you're considering applying to Dal or looking at what our minimum admission requirements are, so for a master's degree, quite often that'd be a 4-year bachelor's degree, and we typically have a minimum grade requirement of a B average. So that's a 3.0 at a 3.4 on our scale, but that can obviously vary depending on what university you're coming from. The PhDs normally require that you've completed a thesis-based master's and has similar minimum grade point averages. Quite often, though, whenever you're applying for some of these degrees, it's really important to try to build a link with a potential supervisor if you're looking at thesis-based research. Having that link in place at the time you're applying can really help to understand the process and understand how to end up getting accepted into the program. Many of our professional programs, they end up looking at admissions very similar to the undergraduate, where they'll do bulk-based review of the admissions, and depending on your qualifications you apply, there's a good chance you'd be able to get in. From an English language perspective, we have several different tests that are available that you can end up taking. So the most common ones, as you may know, would be your TOEFL or your IELTS, and the minimum score requirements there. There are some programs that do have slightly higher requirements. It really depends on the individual program. So please do check out the program websites on the Dalhousie website to see what exactly the requirements would be. From a deadlines perspective, it is important to understand when you should be applying for graduate studies if you're looking to try to come for a program over the next year. So the deadlines on here are the absolute last deadlines that you might typically end up wanting to have your applications in for, but I would typically encourage any interested student to look early. A lot of the scholarship competitions that we run at the university to try to help finance students who are looking to take graduate studies, the application deadlines for those are in early December. So you'd have to apply for the scholarships by that point, and if you were successful, you could then follow up with an application. There's a number of the more competitive programs earlier deadlines that I would encourage you to make sure that you're looking at what the expected deadlines are for the program that you're specifically interested in. Now, I did mention scholarships and bursaries. It's always good to know what potential financial supports you can get to help cover the cost of your studies. So Dalhousie University awards more than $24 million a year in funding to thesis-based graduate students. Typically, the amount ranges by student and program, but it can range from $16,500 Canadian to $24,000 Canadian per year in the early stages of the degree. And normally, funding is provided for typically 2 years in the master's level or 4 to 5 years in the PhD. Where late stage funding is more often from a faculty member's research grant. We have a number of awards that international students are fully eligible for, including our Nova Scotia Graduate Scholarships, or the Killam funding. So we are a Killam institution, one of the few in Canada. And most of these competitions, they are competitive awards. You would have to apply by early December. A lot of the details on the different competitions can be found by coming to our Faculty Graduate Studies website and looking under the scholarships and finances or funding your studies. So that's a bit about Dal. I just want to talk a little bit about kind of the experience here, as well as Halifax as an area. So Halifax is a coastal city. It's a very dynamic, very young city. There's a lot of students that are in our area. If you look on the slide here, a little bit towards the top right corner, right between the two yellow cranes there, you can see one of the campuses. That's the Sexton or the engineering campus. You'd have to go a little bit west of that in order to get to the Studley campus. So we are located on the east coast of Canada, right on the very eastern tip of Nova Scotia, about halfway up, which means that we are, nice environment. You can normally drive maybe an hour away from the city or rent a vehicle or take a bus and check out a whole bunch of really interesting things. We are in a little bit milder area for Canada, so you can see some of the typical temperatures here in degrees Celsius. That's important because Fahrenheit, that would be kind of cold. So springs and summers, you'll typically have 2 to 17 degrees. Our summers, by the time you get into August, it normally only goes up to around 28 degrees, cooling off a bit at night, so it's fairly relaxed. And the winters, which is always something people are interested in. So Halifax winters are not as severe as what you might get in central Canada. It is still a little bit cold, but normally we don't see those minus 20, minus 30 degree weather. So it's quite moderate. At Dalhousie itself, we are a very diverse and dynamic university. We have a lot of student supports, and we have quite a few areas that we encourage students to get engaged with. And so some of them are listed here. Our international center especially is one that I would point out. So they provide extensive consultation and support for any international students that are looking to pursue their study visas or looking to make the transition to move into Halifax if they're attending Dal. And so that's one resource that, if you're considering coming to Dal and you're starting to look through the process, and if you're successful with an application and want support, we have a full, very competent team in the International Center that does a wonderful job with that. We do offer additional services. So depending on where you are interested in trying to work, we have career and recruitment specialists that can help with looking at how to set up for working after your degree. Several of our programs also have integrated working opportunities. So the Master of Applied Computer Science, for example, has a co-op placement program. There are several others as well. And yes, that's about the extent of the information that I have for Dalhousie University. I would be more than happy to answer any questions people have on specific programs or the general area, and I will open things up at that point. So thank you very much.